Hi everyone, welcome back to Diet Rocks. My name's Tracy, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make extremely low syn, gluten-free and dairy-free flavoured oats. Well, they're overnight oats, but I like to call them flavoured oats. And for this particular one, I'm using just the pure oats, free from, so they're gluten-free and milk-free. And in a little bowl, you want one ideally that you have a lid for, and I do have a lid for this one. So you'll put your 40 grams of oats, which I've already weighed out. Now, I'm using this Alpro Peach Yogurt. Now, this makes amazingly flavoured oats. Now, when you buy, because I've used to make these that were not gluten-free, and when you buy them, I'm not sure if it was Muller, you would have to add 1.5 syns, but these are just 1 syn. So I always try and get as much off the lid as I can. And these yogurts can be a little on the expensive side. I'm just going to try and get this off the lid while I'm kind of talking to you. In most supermarkets, but I don't really want to advertise anyone in particular, but I've found that Tesco sell them in a 4-pack, and so therefore they're a lot cheaper. So you just pop that all in, being really careful to get it all from the sides. Now I've got a tablespoon, which is possibly easier with a smaller spoon. Just make sure you get all of that in. Now you're allowed milk for your healthy A, and the milk that I'm using, I'll just get the last bits because I like to make sure I get all of it, is this Alpro oat milk, no sugars. So it seems appropriate that these are oats, so I'm using oat milk. So what I'll do is I'll just put in a glug. Now we're allowed 2 healthy A options per day. So when I come to make it up, you'll think you're using an awful lot of milk, but I'm not. So now all I'm going to do is stir this so it's all incorporated. Now you might have seen overnight oats where they tell you to layer it in a jar. I don't see the point in that. You know, why layer it? Because when I first did it, after people told me to layer it, I found, excuse me a sec, that all that did was make it clump. And it didn't take on the moisture evenly. Now that does look pretty sloppy, but you leave that overnight in the fridge, and by tomorrow it's not going to be sloppy anymore. So it will be a little bit firmer. So I'm just going to pause it a second and I'll show you the one that I did yesterday. Okay, so I'm going to pop this lid on, and then I'm going to put that in the fridge overnight. Now this is the one that I did yesterday, and I've already put some milk in because I totally forgot that I was going to show you this morning, and I put some milk in. So it was a little firmer, but not massively. Now I would put even more milk than that in, but what I do is I like my oats the traditional way of making them warm. You can eat them like this, but I feel that they're a little husky. Normally when you have oats or porridge, you have it warm. So what I do now is I put this in the microwave for a couple of minutes, and I will show you what it looks like once it's done. Okay, as you can see, it's starting to swell up, and that's what we want, but it gets thicker because if you cook your oats, then they do swell and they lose that prickly kind of huskiness, you know what I'm talking about, like they've got husks. So that's a bit thick for me, so I'm going to put some more milk in. So you might think, well, she does use rather a lot of milk, but as I said, you've got 2 healthy A options, and the milk is the healthy A. And if you're not having anything else, that it's really hard, I think, when you're doing gluten-free and dairy-free to actually, it's easy to have your healthy B because you can only have one kind of bread-like thing, and these oats are your healthy B. So you're not actually getting any syns from those unless you have to count them because you've had other breads. But I would say that if you want to use enough milk, you can use both your Healthy A options. I find it hard to use my Healthy A because I don't really like dairy-free cheese. So I'm going to pop that in for another minute and I'll come back. Okay, so that's enough now. That's swelled up. I don't need any more milk. That's just how I like it, a little on the creamy side. If you leave it to stand for a little while, it sometimes does thicken up a little bit, so you can always add a little more milk or some water. If you didn't want to use too much of your allowance, if you wanted to use one of your Healthy A's for cheese later, you can substitute some of this for water because oats are very creamy and you can make them with water if you want. Now, you can also add some chopped up bits of peach at this stage. I recommend you do it at this stage because if you put this in before you put it in the microwave, you will have to sin this because fruit, once it's cooked, has sins, whereas once it's just as if you cut it up and pop it in now, it wouldn't be. But I would take the furry skin off and chop up little bits, although you don't have to because these yogurts do have, you can probably see those little lumps there of peach. And so you've now got really lovely peach flavoured oats. And as you can see, it has thickened up a little bit more than it was earlier. So leave it to stand for a little while and you'll see if it's at the consistency you like. But that is how I love my overnight oats. I don't like them cold, and I like them to swell because one of the things, if they swell like this, is they are more satisfying and keep you topped up and not hungry for longer. So that yogurt has one Syn, and that is all this has, just one Syn, which is brilliant. A really healthy breakfast, no gluten, no dairy, just one Syn. Can't be wrong. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, everyone. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one.